This is probably going to be multiple parts, but I thought I'd do my thoughts on the 25 Hall of Fame nominees. I have them up on another computer besides the laptop with the webcam I'm doing this on, so I'll be looking to my right to see what's going on. Red Byron, first NASCAR Premier Series, now Sprint Cup champ in 1949. Frankly, all the champs that met the eligibility crisis, being retired out of the seat long enough, should have been in the first class. Yes, I know it would have been more than 5, but that's alright. I don't have a problem. You've got a sport that's been around 60 plus years. So, yeah, he belongs in. Richard Childress, 11-time car owner, champ in the 3 National Series. Now, you can make the argument, since he is still very actively involved, that he should be out of the sport for 5 years, but frankly, if some of these guys are out of the sport for 5 years, they may not be living anymore. So, let's get some of these guys in while they're living. Jerry Cook. Now, here's an interesting case. He is on the nominating committee. 6-time NASCAR modified champion. Yeah, he belongs in. Him and Richie Evans kept that modified title in Rome, New York forever. Richie Evans already in the Hall of Fame. H. Clay Earls, founder of Martinsville Speedway, who proved you could run a professional operation at a short track. He should be in again. My beef with the Hall of Fame, 60 plus years. You should have drivers, you should have promoters, crew chiefs, track operators. Clay Earls should have been maybe the first track operator put in. Tim Flock, 2-time NASCAR Premier Series champion. When he drove for Carl Kike for that 1 year, he won a bunch of races. Again, should be in, no doubt. Ray Fox, engine builder, owner of cars driven by Buck Baker, Junior Johnson, and others. That's the only one I really don't know about. Yeah, he was a car owner, engine builder, won some races, but never that big a win. But as far as the history of the sport and the fact he's still living, yeah, probably ought to be in. Here's one. Next is one that's already should have been inducted alongside her husband, Anne Bledsoe France. Built the sport with Bill France Sr., Big Bill, Annie B as she was called. First woman nominated, should have already been in. She controlled the purse strings in the early years of NASCAR. Without her leadership, NASCAR may not be where it is today or even in existence. Rick Hendrick, 13-time car owner in NASCAR's 3 National Series, including 6, 4, and 1, 10 Cup championships. Yeah, definitely should be in. Again, if you go for the 5-year rule, Rick Hendrick probably be out of the sport 5 years, probably be dead. He should go ahead and be in now. Almost every one of these should be in, frankly. Jack Ingram, 2-time Busch or Budweiser late model sportsman, now the Nationwide Series, and 3-time late model sportsman champion. Yeah, he should already been in on certain championship criteria. Probably should have been in the first class. Bobby Isaacs, 70 Premier, now Sprint Cup Series champion. Didn't run all that many, race all that many years. Had some heart trouble. Passed away during a race at Hickory. But again, if you go by the eligible champs out of the sport long enough, he should be in. Dale Jarrett. Kind of early for him, but theoretically, again, if you go by, if you're out of the sport long enough, you should be in. Got to arrow down a little bit. Fred Lorenzen, 26 wins, winner of the Daytona 500, World 600, and never run all the races, never run for a championship. Still living, but not in very good health. I understand he's in an Alzheimer's unit, or suffering with Alzheimer's anyway, but First driver, and you look at drivers now can start and park at Daytona and make well over $200,000. First driver to make $100,000 in a season, again, should be in. Raymond Parks, NASCAR's first champion car owner. I don't know a lot about Raymond Parks, but on the car owner side, yeah, I think so. Benny Parsons, 73 Premier Series, now Sprint Cup Series champ, 75 Daytona winner. Yeah, he should have been in earlier. He did more for racing on the TV side than anybody ever knows. Maurice Petty, chief engine builder for Petty Enterprises. Yes, but there's an asterisk on Maurice Petty, and it was that 1983 race at Charlotte where Richard Petty was caught with a badly oversized engine. I'm not talking one that was 359 cubic inch on a 358. It was a 300. It was 20-something cubic inches over, so that could be the only drawback for Maurice Petty, but he won some championships and some Daytonas as an engine builder. Here's one that's kind of interesting. Larry Phillips, only 5-time NASCAR Whelen All-American Series national champion. A nod to the short track guys. I kind of like that. You can ask Ken Schrader of the Wallace brothers about racing Larry Phillips. He's been around forever. Next one's an interesting one. Les Richter, former NASCAR executive, former president of Riverside International Raceway. And here's the interesting thing about Les Richter. He's in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Now, there's one other person that has a chance to be in both, in my opinion, NASCAR Hall of Fame eventually, and the Pro Football Hall of Fame if he's not already in, and that's the coach, Joe Gibbs. But Les Richter, again, you can't argue with any of these. Fireball Roberts, 33 NASCAR Premier Series wins, including the 62 Daytona 500, tragically killed in a crash in 64 at Charlotte. But, yeah, he did more. He was the sport's first superstar. Again, one of the ones that never really run for the championship. But yeah, I mean, almost all these should be in. The only Dale Jarrett's a little bit early. T. Wayne Robertson helped raise NASCAR popularity as R.J. Reynolds Tobacco Company Senior Vice President. Yeah, he should be in. The whole R.J. Reynolds Company should, being the first major sponsor in NASCAR. And here's one on stats alone. No, Wendell Scott won one race. A lot of drivers have won one race will never get in the Hall of Fame. But he did it against impossible odds, being African American. And frankly, there were times he had to get out of his car, work on it himself, change a tire during a race, get back in the car and race. Also, towed the car to the track. He didn't have an engine for the race car. Took the engine out of his tow truck, put in the race car, raced. After the race, took the engine back out of the race car, put in the truck, and went back home. Oh, what happened if the engine had blown during the race? But I'm going to stop this one here. I'm going to finish this, and then I'm going to name some names, in my opinion, that should be on the list that are not on the list.